Hello, sunshine. Welcome to Be Visible with Veronica, the podcast where bold conversations and soul-aligned strategy help you awaken your most powerful self. I'm your host, Veronica Bond. Get ready to stop dimming your light, own your magic, and finally be so visible you can't be ignored. Let's get visible. Welcome back to Be Visible with Veronica. I hope you're having a glorious day. Last week's episode with Annie Gerber and talking about human design. Oh my gosh, if you don't know what that is, go listen and explore. It'll change your world and give you a permission slip for who you are meant to be on this planet right now. It's amazing. And just so you know, I'm a 5-2 manifester. Go check that out. But today on the Be Visible show, we have Shantoya Nicole Thomas, who found herself on an accidental journey into entrepreneurship, where she had to learn to pick up those big girl panties and step into her purpose in the most beautiful way. We are highlighting this incredible nonprofit, and I am so proud to have you here joining us today, Shantoya.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Tell us about the Brighter View Foundation and how it became your baby and all the things you're doing with your entrepreneurship, 20-year plus journey, what the accidental journey actually looks like.
Oh, it's a beautiful ride. You got to enjoy the journey.
And then how you listen to that God calling to also create the nonprofit that supports this lovely, much needed community. So
Absolutely.
Those are all the things you guys are going to listen to and hear about today or watch. So first, let's start with that accidental journey.
The accidental journey, I think being in college and kind of having that what I don't want to do and ignoring that and realizing that what you don't want to do is actually what you're called to do.
Why is that?
We have these great dreams in early life, and we haven't learned yet to tune into ourselves and our purpose. We're really on a high. So I was kind of in it in healthcare administration, Phoenix College, down Central Phoenix, when it was a small little place. And it was a beautiful journey, but to make ends meet, I started keeping a few extra children and babysitting for friends while I studied. And that turned into child care centers, child care group homes. So I was somewhat on the path with healthcare, preferred administration, but that high school aptitude told me social services, serving people. And I was like, Lord, no.
And that's so vast, serving people. Okay.
Yes.
I wake up, I'm a woman, I'm breathing, I'm serving somebody.
I'm serving somebody. But I think when we put that title around it of social worker or something, which some of the testing does, it's scary because in the 80s, every social worker was bland, smoking cigarettes, stressed out, and gray. And like, who wants that life? You know?
You are a glowing, brighter example of how to do it different.
Amen. Amen. And that's always the goal because it is a joy to serve. So from there, just being engulfed in foster care and working with our seniors and disabled community in that healthcare and home health space has just given me so much knowledge, wisdom, great people, amazing stories. And those are the things that landed me here and kept me going when I thought my world was the worst. And so along that journey, I got blessed with my beautiful daughter, my victorious miracle, and my answered prayer, which is my oldest. That's how I label my children. Self-reminder.
But, there's the best tip of the day. Yes. I don't know what that did for you, but rewind and listen to what she just said.
Yes, because they really are through all things. But, my youngest has special needs. She has developmental delays. So lots of testings, lots of doctor's appointments, lots of urgency in her care. So when I say the accidental journey, I had no choice but entrepreneurship because I really needed to own my time for the sake of my children. And thankfully, it's working well.
Good.
And so from that,
story.
That's where Brighter View Foundation, the nonprofit piece, was birthed from. Was just realizing that there's many things that my family needed and lacks in the system that I saw, and I just felt my responsibility to help bind that community from the services we receive, but more on the support for the family members, us, that are not the individual receiving care and how much we give. We needed a little support.
I love this. So you decided to start a nonprofit from conception to the IRS letter that says it's approved.
So that's a funny story because I didn't choose. God said. So he sent a hummingbird to attack me in the backyard while having my morning coffee.
He did not.
And I said, I don't want to start another business. Like I'm struggling through the ones that I have, and life is kind of peaceful and quiet, and I could just hide out here in my home-based business. And I felt that was enough. But then this hummingbird comes. We stop right here.
No.
And
Right in front of your face.
Right in front of my face. I've never seen or witnessed like right here. And the more I'm like, God, are you sure the hummingbird's coming for me? So be careful about questioning God. He is a loving God and a fierce God. But the moment I said, okay, the hummingbird,
visual of this.
it's, when I tell people, sometimes I feel like nobody's going to believe this story. But really, that's sometimes how our greatest things happen, is just saying yes to a calling. So as I questioned, and really it wasn't the business part because I felt confident in my ability to do, it was the people part. I've had a failed business in the past, a failed marriage in the past. I didn't want to be visible. That felt like a lot of failure. So it was me I was actually hiding from. So that took a long time to discovery, but that had to been on a Friday or Saturday morning, because on that following Monday morning, I went to the Corporation Commission. I got my books. I had my stuff prepared, and I went and filed the paperwork, and I've been chasing after God's heart with it ever since. So 8 years in now. Yeah. So
wow. That's
yeah.
I got to get my ask in gear, I think, that because I've had my idea for my nonprofit, as we spoke on the phone, for about 14 years.
14 years. And in true reality, you've been serving and probably doing the things and just haven't formed it to best benefit you in the community you want to serve. So that's what I discovered. It wasn't necessarily anything more than a way to organize these missions, put intention behind the programming, and really, sometimes we need a little nudge to go all the way. We'll do enough to make us happy, but having the structure in place, having now a board. We hired an executive director this year, and it's taking now its own life. So I felt like I've served my purpose in starting it, and now the visibility is a little more natural, because to maintain and support those who support me, I have to get out here and talk about this nonprofit mission, and so it's a journey.
So tell us about the mission for the nonprofit, Shantoya.
Yeah, so the mission, near and dear to me again, workforce development for adults with disabilities that lead to independent living. As a mother, all I want is for my daughter to have the same opportunities everyone else does, and just see her as her. And so unfortunately in this system, there's not a lot of options. There's not a lot of support, and it's the family. Internally, we're doing all we can, but as with any great community, once you get together, you realize you're not alone, and there's many on the mission with you. So, yeah, that's what we get to do.
So learning how to get your ask in gear
Yes.
makes a big difference, because there is a community around us that's waiting to show up for us, that God has put on our path. But until we are ready to be visible and shine that light for ourselves, gives other people permission to also show up and follow that light or be part of it.
Yes.
And they're waiting there the whole time.
Wow, that's amazing to realize. So hopefully a lot of people realize that sooner than I. But that accidental journey, and it really brings you to so many great places, just following your purpose and your mission.
I just want everybody to take a minute and breathe that in.
Yeah. It's good. It's good.
Seriously, because so many people who are listening to this show will have it on their heart to call it, but nothing, like for me, the carpet got pulled out from underneath my husband and I in an unexpected job loss, and we lost a dual income overnight, which put us on separate paths. But it was because all the signs were there to do it, but neither one of us wanted to take that step. And I think we were comfortable, and we were not knowing created fear.
Yes.
And even though we are very faith oriented as a couple,
Mm-hmm.
we still felt we were in charge. We were in control. Oh, no,
Yes.
no. No.
Yes.
We learned. And when we actually really not just turned to each other, but turned to our faith in a bigger way,
Yes.
we found God showing up all the time
Yes.
in all the little things. One of the mantras we say together is, money flows freely and abundantly, and we
Yes.
always have more than enough. And it shows up in the mailbox or in the unexpected client acquisition or in a new client that shows up for my husband or in a new line that comes along that he gets to represent or for me in this podcast, like sponsors that show up, all of these ways. And as long as you remain on your path of purpose,
Yes.
and it's when we get misaligned.
Yes.
Can you share a story about a misalignment that might have come your way where you had a challenge you had to work through?
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe even one that's recent? I don't know.
I'll do one recent because we're, at the back end of it, the nonprofit is great. It's a mission, but it's still a business. And you have to sharpen your tools to survive. So oftentimes starting out entrepreneurship, the course of entrepreneurship is a very new concept in the business world, in the school systems. Like they want to teach this kind of crazy and you can't. But, as you're growing.
Teach this kind of crazy, like, are you out of your mind?
Are you out of your mind? Because entrepreneurship takes a certain level of, like you've spoken of, faith that is absolutely
fortitude,
crazy,
and
trust in yourself. And a lot of us, I don't care how good we dress it up and look, we have self-doubts. We're wondering if we're doing enough, saving enough, providing enough. So when you're in business, you're always looking at these things. Plus, as an entrepreneur, you're the sole provider. There's no backup income. There's no benefits. No. There's a lot of no in entrepreneurship when you just start out.
And you have to be willing to work through that.
Yes. And that's the crazy I speak of, being willing to work through that. So that can be difficult sometimes because entrepreneurship is lonely, typically at first. So you can do I want to do, I'm going to do, I. And then as you grow in business or you add in these different segments like the nonprofit, we have a few for-profits and teams are growing. It's no longer I. The I kind of disappears and now it's like a big we. So when you're growing, not having those tools, it's a very pivotal time as a founder to connect with people and get in rooms and spaces that help develop you. And oftentimes we don't feel we have time for that.
And so you have to make time.
You have to. And we hear that and we know that, but how and where? It is one of the most difficult parts of business, I think, because we've been taught and trained if you work more, you'll get more. And you're working yourself into a frenzy
and
to where
into an early grave where then you don't get to appreciate all that you've envisioned and this legacy that you wanted to create.
Yes, and it becomes more of a weight. So for me, that accidental was exactly that. I'm trying to add people to, but I'm still operating as I. So everybody that comes in is now an issue because they're not they're not me. So that took a lot of growth and development.
There's a lot, the challenge.
Yeah, because we want to scale our businesses. We want to grow. We want to have successful funded nonprofits. And we believe starting in that our heart and our mission is enough, but that's not enough to sustain a nonprofit. It's not enough to sustain a business. At some point, you have to develop and grow as a leader, as the executive, all these hats that you wear, and really learn to say no to things, but say yes to the things that are going to grow you and the entire organization.
And put yourself in a room where people are 5Xing and 10Xing where you want to be. Like don't be the smartest person in the room. Don't be the most resourced in the room.
Absolutely.
Really be willing. I mean, there are places for that where you want to show up in that expert space. But also, you're learning and growing and stretching when you're surrounding yourself by others that are also doing it. And then don't measure your middle by somebody else, or your beginning at somebody else's middle.
Yes.
Like, don't take the same yardstick and measure them and you.
Correct.
And I loved this phrase that Jim Rohn said for years. I mean, entrepreneurship is a personal development journey. Life is a personal development. That's why it's a $1 trillion industry. Thanks to Deepak Chopra and Tony Robbins and
absolutely
Emilio Ortiz and all of these people that are Dale Carnegie and Napoleon Hill, and all of these men that developed these great businesses and personal development stories. But then now we have women to look to.
Yes.
In this space.
And that's the amazing thing, because I still believe the fundamentals of business are there. So every last one of those authors and books, I'm like seeing them on my bookshelf, taking that time to study them and learn from them, but still add your flair, because we are women in business and we're changing things.
We are bringing a chair to the table and we are making ourselves known.
Yes.
And that goes back to that visibility piece and how powerful that is. And I created a quiz called the Visibility Quiz. So you can find it at visibilityquiz.com. But it's really what your visibility is saying about you. And I love that you knew, and now in this position as the authoritative leader, the founder of the We organization, you have a different mission and responsibility.
I do. And it's beautiful to be in this space. Scary getting here, but beautiful now, because my impact is really generational. I get to give in ways that I thought I didn't have time for, and mentor and help grow others. And I am more than okay. So I think that's the scariest part, about entrepreneurship or starting anything. But when you realize that I'm okay and you take the worry off of you and put all that energy into the mission, what you're building, what you get to do for others. Again, like I think you alluded to in the beginning, I'm fine. I have more than enough. Your abundance mantra, reminding yourself of that, because sometimes we do get caught up in that, will it ever be enough? And right now, everything is good.
Everything is good. We had a guest on a couple weeks ago, Andrea Merrill, and she talked about her book that she read while in the hospital, Wonder Not Worry.
Yes.
And I had not heard of that book before. I mean, I've heard of lots of books, The Big Leap, and authors like Bob Proctor, and The Outwitting the Devil, one of my favorite books that was written in the 1940s but wasn't released until 2014.
Okay.
Great book.
Yeah, putting it on the list.
Oh my, all these, The Big Leap, the 10X is better than 2X, and all of these conversations, but tap into the tool that's going to make you better, so that people, I think, and as you're out there networking, and we network in similar circles, and we network together, which I think is probably a networking group here in the Valley, E-Women Network, and now you're also the new co-chair or director for the Women 360 of the West Valley.
Yes.
So look at you,
Amazing
just have this huge
communities.
expansion.
Yes. And I just feel, one, to help me rise up and be in a better place, one where I get to give back and help others. And so, as long as you have a great mix of those, life is really full of harmony. And again, that community, that village you build, those who need you present themselves, and to know that we're on a beautiful journey together. But definitely community and support is key.
So how can people learn about the Brighter View Foundation? What are you looking for right now?
Okay, as a nonprofit, we all know finances, but I'd say for every nonprofit, our website, www.brighterviewfoundation.org. To learn about our whole ecosystem, that's the Brighter View Life Enrichment Center, so that's bvlec.org. And you can dig into deeper how we make this nonprofit sustainable and drive. Things we look for in the nonprofit space, and I would love to speak for just about every nonprofit. Your dollars are important, but also is your time and your wisdom. I think when we start this, people just assume that showing up is enough, or purchasing tickets to galas and all that stuff is enough. And it's great. We love you for it. But really putting your hands and your skill to work in a nonprofit space, that's a donation as well, a tangible donation. And it helps the nonprofit grow. It helps us sustain by cutting down on those workforce hours, or cleaning up where we're missing. Because again, I know a lot, but I don't know it all, and every day is a new day. So to equip each other to be there is, whatever skill set you can bring to the table.
And we all have the same 1440 in every day, 1,440 minutes.
Yes.
Right? And the difference between I think success and prosperity is what you do in that time. And
Yes.
you could actually be as effective with just a few hours a day,
Yes.
few minutes a day as you can in putting multiple hours
Multiple
in a day.
hours. It's just the intention and working together in our strong suits.
And your
yeah.
calendar, being
Yes.
so intentional about where your time is going.
Yeah, that's a whole learning module in itself.
Right? So as you're looking at 2026,
Yes.
Shantoya, and if you had a magic wand, what would the end? We're sitting here, it's December 2026. We've had a whole year. What are you proud of? What are you celebrating?
So if we go for the big dream, that would be, we have a capital campaign for our master facility. We're a statewide organization, and so we're satellite trying to get to the needs of everyone.
Okay.
But a main campus that includes our workforce development, housing options for adults with disabilities, and spaces to really grow the businesses around the ecosystem so we can create more jobs for adults with disabilities. So while Brighter View does a lot, it's our community partners and our local businesses seeing the opportunities and helping us to really highlight their skill set, because there's some amazing people being overlooked in the workforce that would be an asset.
So here's an idea. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that are listening to this who might want to understand how they can get aligned with somebody who's in your community from a job perspective. So is there a way to find out if there's a match or like what the needs are? Or maybe on your website, do you share, here's the skill set that we can currently employ, if this is what you're looking for, these are the teams of people we have who could support you?
Yes, that's great, team. You listening to that on the website, but that information is there.
Okay, good.
If you go to the website, because it is a great conversation to have with business owners. Outside of doing a great job, there are great tax benefits available. There is support for the individual at work, be it a job coach or a mentor. So there's a lot of things that we can offer to help these individuals be successful that is backed by our federal dollars and our government and incentives for the business. So it's a win-win. It's just a matter of having those opportunities to have that conversation and really dig into how it would benefit your business. We're training the individuals on site. We're doing the workforce development. We can tailor it to your business.
Wow.
It's just that conversation with the team so we can really dig in and maximize the benefits.
Let's talk about a recent placement or something you're really proud of this year that you saw a win-win happen through the nonprofit and the placement of an adult.
So many.
Now, what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
So we were anchored by an on-site thrift store for many years. And this year, just in business development and space needs, while we're having a capital campaign, we closed the on-site store to move it online.
Okay.
As a strategic business move, sounds great. But as an interpersonal skill set, I will say, based off of these stories and that question, I realize it's not as great for that interpersonal, because our thrift store was designed to give individuals who need assistance with quality clothing, workforce clothing, or just, general needs an opportunity to come in and shop. So many times in a nonprofit space, we give without taking the individual person into context. And I know we love to shop. I see you looking fabulous, but that feeling you get when you shop and someone is helping you and just, instilling good words and positive energy into you. And I didn't realize in closing the store how much of that we would lose.
The impact of the community.
The interpersonal impact. Yeah, online, everything is online. But that real conversation, that connection piece that you really can't put a price tag on. So I have big dreams of getting back to a space where we can have a full store or a resource department in that way, because people come in and they will share intimately what they won't put on a form or what they won't sign up for. But just in conversation, you really get to the heart of people, and I miss that. So with that, my story is the gentleman who was a volunteer. He came in, he would bring some things, but then he found himself in need of an outfit to win his wife back for a date. And so he came to us, and me and my operations manager, we're in the store gassing them all up. Yeah, you go get your wife. You look real good. Just those things that you really get to do to build people up in their lowest time. And we take it for granted. But if you're around me long, I'm always cheering. Oh, yeah.
Yes, you are.
Get it. Yes.
So good.
Because, it's that little positive affirmation that gives you permission to go all the way with yourself. And I notice that, and I get a lot of that from our community, and I love that because you never know what a person is going through or what they went through.
What they're bringing in the door that they're trying to leave behind.
Absolutely.
While they're showing up in a non-solo performance as an entrepreneur.
Yes. And
or just as a person getting up and getting out.
Yes, just getting through life. And so to have a space where people, want to come, they might just want a conversation, or they, do actually need to get, fine clothing or something at a lower fraction. And some days we partner with St. Mary's, we have food box. And all of that is just to get people in so we can really get past those barriers that's holding them back. Because sometimes the person next to you has the key, and you haven't asked or didn't know, or you just assumed that they were too busy or too this or too that. And really what you've done is you've shut your own self out. It had nothing to do with the other person. You've told yourself no before you tried. And so that safe space and allowing people to come in, I think those are generally my favorite stories. It's just people coming in and actually having the time to be there.
I love that you shared that, because we find it so convenient to be able to go to a website, click a button, say yes, and it can show up in a couple hours or a day, the next day, whatever you might need. I had the opportunity to go shopping with my mom and sister recently, and it was so fun.
Yes.
And we were walking through the store, and the music was playing, and people were smiling, and people were dressed up, and we were trying on clothes and coming out of the dressing room. And I'm like, gosh, I haven't done that in so long.
Yes.
In community with my niece for her birthday back in June, possibly but having that experience and being surrounded by people who are shopping, and then the clerks who are helping you, and they want to help.
They want to help, and they're invested in you, and you're a star in those. And we kind of take that for granted sometimes.
Yeah, and I forgot how much I'd missed that. The convenience on online shopping. And I really think that people are craving community.
Yes. And today on our eWomen Call, if I can, that point was made, just $40, not spent online on those big retailers, but invested in your local community stores, your local nonprofits, the community to which you live, the ginormous effect that have on your local economy versus, yes, it was quick to just go online.
Just $40 a day, right? Was it $48 a day or a month? Do you remember? I have to go back and listen.
We'll go through the notes.
But it was
magnificent.
It was magnificent. If everybody just stopped spending, took $40 off their purchase offline and invested it into a small business.
Yes, and they're services that you need anyway. It's just taking the time to find the nonprofits, but the small businesses that you want to support in that way.
It was in the billions. It was an incredible maximizer and saved businesses from going bankrupt or closing their doors.
Businesses, your neighbors, your community, when you drive through and you miss that spot or you see that vacant space, that was a family impacted. Somebody probably invested everything in being there, and then to not have that. So even in these nonprofit spaces, when we mentor, when we're trying to help other nonprofits, it's about collaboration and coming together, regardless of the size of the organization, because every organization started with a founder with a heart.
Amen.
Everyone. So, the years lead up to the size and the magnitude. And then your larger organizations give back to the mid and small size ones and vice versa. So we really want to make sure that as a community, one thing is just participating in that local ecosystem within your community that's supporting. So whether it's nonprofit, a small business, a friend who's up and rising, support them so they can have an opportunity to get into the rooms that's going to 10X. Before we 10X, we're just like, how do I start?
I love that. And that's one of the things I'm really proud of as the executive managing director for eWomen Network here in the Phoenix Scottsdale area. It'll be 4 years for me in March, and we've raised almost $67,000, I believe, for our local nonprofits. And we give an $8,000 grant every year. And our goal this year is to give 2.
Yes.
And so we have to have, I believe, $18,000 in the bank by the end of May, I believe. Yeah. And so it's a heavy lift, but our community is so generous and they give back. And that's one of the things I talk to my clients about is how do you, so yes, being a solopreneur can be hard. And yes, you need to have a why. And yes, you need to have clarity of vision. And yes, you need to have visibility to show up in all that space, things, all the things. But what makes you, it is daily sales. I mean, let's just be honest. This is transactions that happen, call it whatever you want, but it is sales.
Yes.
And it's because you know what you are providing makes an impact to the community in a bigger way. And when you own that as an entrepreneur and you stand in that power and that purpose, you realize it can be so amazing, but back to the no's. You get a lot of no's, and I years ago was taught, and it came to me in such a clear way, and they said it today on our call too, and it's a K-N-O-W. It's not an N-O.
Yes.
So people just need to know more, or they need to know you more, or know you better to say yes to you. Absolutely. So what kind of touch points do you have in your pipeline? How are you showing up in a visibility space all over the valley in your case to show up in lots of different ways that are in alignment with your values and your mission and your message? But as an entrepreneur, how are you giving back? And that's why I interview these nonprofits, because if one of these lands on your heart and you want to know your greatest why, it's to be able to write that 5-figure check, a 4-figure check, a monthly check, even before you're profitable in your business. And I promise you, what that does to your mindset, your skill set, your tool set, your self-development, the power that you stand into, knowing how you're supporting a nonprofit, even if it's part of your loan amount or your business plan or your personal giving. Because if you don't pick up that phone to make that sales call, if you don't follow up, which fortune's in the follow-up in your business, you're leaving money on the table. You're leaving resources on the table. Yes. And resources and money is just an exchange of energy. And money is feminine, and it procreates, and it gives back. So let's do more of that as women and as a community. Because then women turn around and give back to their community.
Exactly. And your community gives back to you. That's the hidden bonus that many people don't calculate or look back. So yes, you're giving to a nonprofit, but when you're helping in that capacity, who else is helping that nonprofit who will see you and pour into you, because now we're connected through something in common. So all of those things, all of those tools come right back to where we started with community and connection and visibility. So when you're showing up as a business for something besides yourself, please believe tenfold someone else is going to stand in the gap for you. And I think that's how we survive and how we make it and grow and sharpen each other in the nonprofit, in the business space, in our networking groups. We just sharpen each other to make sure that we're all as successful as can be.
I love that. And on that note, Shantoya, thank you for sharing today. And we'll put how to connect with you in the show notes. So make sure that you guys are reading those. Comment if you want to learn more. I know that she'll also go back and look at those comments. And every guest on Be Visible with Veronica receives a gift from me. It's a little Hello Sunshine box.
Sunshine.
So to remind you to keep shining that light, be that brighter view. Show up in your community, and Shantoya, keep being that amazing rock star that you are. And I'm just so grateful to have met you, and it's been a recent connection, and I
long overdue.
Yes.
Because we're also 6-figure chick sisters, and I didn't know that, but I'm glad I need to catch up.
Yes, we do.
So congratulations, and thank you.
Thank you, too. So if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with somebody in your community. Copy the link, share it on your social networks. Let other people know about Shantoya. Let people know about Be Visible with Veronica. And let's create a community that's a global environment where we are spreading sunshine and building community around the world. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to Be Visible with Veronica. If today's episode sparked something in you, share it. tag me, and pass it on. Your presence has power, and the world is better when you let it be seen. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and keep showing up as the unstoppable force you were born to be. I'll see you next time.